Hey traders, this is Mike Sir here. Welcome to my live weekly trader psychology live stream series where I help you with anything with regards to the trader mindset, anything that you have in regards to the psychological aspect of trading. All right, so today what we are going to talk about is how to essentially master your mind. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that when we are trading, when we are involved in a trade, we sometimes, as traders, get the emotional impact in terms of, again, the most popular fear, greed, um, joy, nervousness, essentially all these emotions tend to impact us as traders. So what I want to do today is talk about a few things that you can do to help eliminate those emotions, or sorry, I wouldn't say eliminate those emotions, get those emotions under control and help you be able to not have those aspects affect you in your trading. And I'll talk about those things here. So why don't we get started? Okay, so just quickly a disclaimer. Again, anything I talk about, please make sure you talk to your financial advisor before making any financial decisions. All right, so let's talk about here. All right. So in terms of the mind control, okay. So what I mean by mind control or controlling your mind, not letting any emotions affect you or put yourself in a situation where your emotions don't affect you. So first thing there's five things that I kind of want to talk about. So one thing I have here is align your thoughts. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that when I say align your thoughts is, let's just say, for example, you are a crypto or Bitcoin bull, you are a crypto enthusiast. You believe in cryptocurrencies, and you believe that it's the future of money, for example. Now, you see on a chart that obviously Bitcoin, all the cryptocurrencies have been falling down quite sharply this year. And you are a technical chartist, okay? So you look at the charts and you see actually an opportunity to bet on the downside in terms of Bitcoin or any of the cryptocurrencies, and you, let's just say, for example, you take on that trade, but because you are, well, first of all, you see an opportunity that Bitcoin will fall lower, for example. And so there's two things that you're thinking. One is you might, because you are a Bitcoin bull, you think that obviously it will come down, but it will probably go back up longer term. So let's just say two scenarios. One is you short Bitcoin and it's going down, right? For example, but because your thoughts are not aligning um, with what you're trading, you tend to probably maybe take quicker profits on Bitcoin just because you are a long-term believer. You don't think it's going to go down to right now, what, 16,000, 17,000. Let's just say you shorted at 60,000, for exambe. You may maybe taken profit at 30,000, right? Because you think that it's not going to go back down to 16,000 or 17,000. So your thoughts don't align with what you are trading in the market. So the first thing is, because you don't believe that crypto will die, or uh, you will take profits a little bit earlier, right? So it your emotions, right? Because you're thinking, your thoughts are affecting your trading decisions. Whereas if you had the thought that, oh, cryptocurrencies is it's a Ponzi scheme, it's not worth anything, and if you were shorting Bitcoin, you'll probably keep holding it, right, until now, right, or even further as it goes down, because your thoughts are aligning with the market direction, right? It's very, very clear that the crypto prices are heading lower, right? For example, so that's where your emotions take over, because, or your thoughts take over, because it's not aligning with your philosophy, right? Because your philosophy is that crypto is the future, but yet it the price is not heading higher, right? It's heading lower. So there's there's a disconnect there. So that's one thing that affects you, right? Your emotions, because you think, oh, it's going to go higher longer term, right? But quite frankly, the charts are telling you they are heading lower. Now, the second thing that you want to make sure that your thoughts align with, where what the market's doing, is to only trade scenarios where your thoughts are aligning with what the market direction. So, for example, again, I'll talk to in a similar scenario. Is that, yeah, you're a Bitcoin bear. You think that the cryptocurrencies are terrible. They're not worth anything. So if you are shorting the cryptocurrency, you would have made a lot of money, right? So it has to, so one thing, what I'm saying in terms of with your mind control and your ability to ensure that your thoughts, okay, of what you believe, has to align with the markets, the technical markets. So therefore, those emotions of you believing in one thing and then the market acting in a different manner, it screws up your mentality. It screws up how you think. So my thoughts are, just make sure that if you believe, and I'll talk about, if you believe crypto is going to go higher, do not short it. Okay, even though the opportunity is there, don't short it. Look for things that you believe that will go up or go down, and when the market and the charts tell you that they are going up and they're going down, then you have no emotional control over you of what you think you should do, because again, the market is aligning with your thoughts. Okay, so hopefully I explained that. I kind of didn't know how to express it in words. Second thing is to help you not let your emotions, again, control your mind or affect you, is to know your risk. Okay, and I said this so many times in all my live streams and all my videos, is if you know exactly what's the maximum loss you will incur on one trade, okay, or on the trade that you're making, okay, you shouldn't be emotional at all, right? Is that if you decide, I'm not going to lose more than $200 or $100 on this trade, and you feel comfortable, okay, you feel comfortable risking losing $100, okay, doesn't matter, like if the world ends and you say, okay, this trade, you're only going to lose $100 and you're comfortable with that, you shouldn't be emotional, right? And if $100 is too much, okay, well, what's the amount that you feel comfortable with, right? That it won't affect you. Is it $10? Is it, what's that amount? So get to that amount, and then you won't have, right? Like, let's just say if you dropped a penny, right, or on the ground, you're not gonna, or you lost a penny, right? It's not gonna affect you, right, emotionally. Right? But what amount is, like, if you lose your entire wallet with hundreds of dollars in it, or your credit cards, all that stuff, of course it'll affect you, right? So what's that amount? So know your risk prior to that trade, and you won't feel emotional. It won't affect your mind. That's how you can control your mind, right? Your mind's not affected by that risk that you're taking. Now, obviously, it's easy to say, well, of course, small amounts is not going to affect you, right? But if you put on big trades, it will affect you, right? But look at it in this regard, where, of course, if you're not risking a lot of money, you can't make a lot of money, right? So when you have made some money, for example, let's just say you made $1,000 on a few trades, what amount of that, of your profit, which is essentially free money, okay, you made it, okay, the profit is free money, okay, you can afford to play with higher risk, right? Because it's not affecting your principal, it's just your profit. So think of in that way. Now you get free trade. Okay, I'm going to risk $100, so 10% of those profits. Is it going to affect you? Okay, well, maybe not. What you know, what's that amount, right, that you're willing to risk? And as you build more and more profits, the amount that you're risking shouldn't also impact you. So, for example, I'm gonna make it a crazy amount. You made $1 million in profits. Okay, risking $1,000. Okay, of your $1 million is not going to affect you, right? But if you, let's just say, risk, if you have $1 million, you're going to risk 500,000, right? Half of it, obviously, it's going to impact you, right? Or maybe 100,000, right? So know what your risk is. Know what you are. What's the maximum loss that you will incur if a trade doesn't work in your favor? And once you are comfortable with that, hey, nothing's, you shouldn't be affected. Nothing's going to, um, you know, cause you to affect you in terms of your trading decision, so that you get too nervous on that trade, or it devastates you, right? Because you know what your maximum loss is prior to that trade. All right, third thing that I want to talk about is trade preparation. Okay, trade preparation is essentially preparing for your trade, researching, doing all your due diligence, doing all the things that make you confident that this trade will work in your favor. So, for example, if you're looking to decide, hey, should I buy Tesla stock? Okay, I'm going to research the heck out of Tesla stock to see what's going on, right? To see, what's their market share, how are their competitors doing, what's the market doing, looking at the Tesla technical charts, looking at prior history, seeing what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter, right? What's essential, like doing all your research analysis to see what's the risk of buying, Tesla stock, right? For example, if there's an opportunity, and I'm not saying just doing a quick research or analysis. I'm talking about really doing your due diligence on what's the risk of the stock, what's the reward, how much higher can it go, for example, all those type of things before you put on a trade. So therefore, once you put on that trade, and obviously you know what your risk is, you know where your stop loss, all that stuff, and when you finally put on that trade, you feel comfortable, right? You feel comfortable on that trade, whether it's going to work out or not, because you did your due diligence, right? Versus a scenario where you don't do too much of research. You don't even know that actually the company is reporting earnings tomorrow. You don't know that Elon Musk is speaking about at some conference tomorrow about the release of a new car, for example, and you just get in, and then suddenly you're sideswiped by the fact that there was a report that Tesla's market share is actually slowing down. Whatever, right? That because you're not prepared, suddenly you get so nervous, right? You thought you got into a stock, it's going to go higher because of your perception that the stock's going to do well, all that stuff, but you didn't do your research, you didn't do your analysis, so that suddenly very, very quickly, your trade becomes a loss, and you're all freaking out because, I thought the stock's going to go higher, or I thought, the company is really strong, etc., etc., right? Because you didn't do your trade preparation. Okay, bottom line. Maybe you're lazy. Maybe you just got too cocky. You didn't put in the work to ensure that at least you know what the risks are in terms of trading this particular stock. Okay. And again, if you guys have any questions in terms of this type of topic of control your mind, manage your mind, type those questions in the live chat box. All right, fourth thing, in terms of helping you with controlling your mind, okay, managing your emotions while you're trading, is to automate your trades. Okay, I know many traders are emotional, right? Human beings, we're emotional creatures, right? We have emotion, like I said so many times. We have fear, we have greed, we have hope. We have many range of emotions. Joy, happiness, sadness, anger. All that stuff. If we automate the trading, and it could be simple, as instead of hitting the buy and sell button, right, when you are in front of the computer, because you're nervous, right? Like, should I hit it now? Should I hit it now? Oh, right? Or should I sell now? Should I sell now? Right? You're watching, right? Is to remove that part of your trading. Is to set pending orders. And again, I talked about this before. Set pending orders. Set stop buy orders. Once the price reaches this price, my broker will execute this order to buy. And once I get in, if the trade goes below this price value, it will trigger my stop loss order, and it will automatically exit my trade. Okay? And if it goes to my target price, it will automatically take my profits. Right? You predetermine all that in advance so that you don't have any emotion. Like, it's all pre-programmed. It's all set. Like, imagine you don't set a stop loss order. You don't set that order out there. And you get into a trade. It's not working. It's going against you. You're losing money. It gets to your, let's just say, $100 maximum loss level. And now you're thinking, oh, $100. I know I said that I'm not going to risk more than $100, but you know what? I still believe in this stock. I think the market's going to turn around. So suddenly, you know where this is going. $100 becomes $200. Oh, I know I should take the loss now, but because I was only going to lose 100, now I'm losing 200. I'll come back. And then suddenly it's 500, right? And then you feel pain. You're emotional, right? Angry at yourself. Sadness. You can't think. And it suddenly becomes 1,000, right? You can't take it anymore. You hit the sell and you incurred $1,000 loss versus $100 loss that you said to yourself, you are not going to lose more than that. Right? Right? Who has experienced that, right? Type it in the live chat box, right? Have you experienced that? And I'll tell you honestly, I've experienced many times, right? Because we're human, right? So how can we do it? Automate that process. Take that order, trade execution or pending execution, trade execution out of your emotions. Remove that and set those orders. Or I have guys, and including myself, I run automated trading systems, right, that are programmed to execute trades once a certain technical condition has been met. And it automatically kick me out of a trade once it reaches my maximum threshold. So that I let it run on its own. But I'm not saying that I just leave it there, right? I still monitor it, or I still have people monitor it for me, right? Because it could go haywire, right? But what I'm trying to say is remove the trade execution from your day-to-day trading so that it doesn't impact you emotionally and messes up with your mind, because everything is predetermined in advance. Okay, last one. And again, I talked about this many, many times. Confidence. Okay? Confidence is something that is very, very important and has a big impact on traders, because I can tell you, a confident trader will be able to put on trades, will be able to execute the trades. It will be able to think whether the trade works or not, results in a profit or loss. He will still be confident because he is confident in his abilities. And when a trade doesn't work in his favor, you say to yourself, well, just the market didn't agree with me. and I knew what my maximum stop loss or loss is, and I'm comfortable with that because I did my due diligence, right? All the things I talk about. But when you're not confident, okay, even if a trade is working in your favor, you're saying so. Oh, the market's going to reverse. Oh, should I take the profit now because it's my profit is going to suddenly disappear, or what if suddenly something happens and my profit suddenly turns to a loss, right? All those things, right? Even if your profit and the trade is going in your favor, you think it's not going to, right? Because you're not confident in yourself. So when you want to remove the emotions from yourself while you're trading and not affect you, you got to be in the right frame of mind, right? You got to be confident in yourself, or at least not even emotional, or maybe certain personal things are happening in your life, right? Maybe you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or you have a family crisis, or you're dealing with some issues at work, or you're in a fight with your spouse, or whatever, right? Things. If you are not in the right frame of mind, and let's talk about here in terms of confidence, um, those type of emotions will carry you into your trading. So that's why those things will affect you while you're trading, because let's just say you're having a bad day, right? All the things that obviously you're not in a good mood, right? You're in a negative mood. So even the trade again works in your favor, you'll turn a very profitable trade into maybe a not so profitable, or maybe even a loss, or a loss into an even bigger loss. Okay, I'm not even talking about financially, but emotionally, right? You're not feeling good, and then you lose money, even though you've planned for it. Okay, you plan to lose $100, and you're not feeling good. It further adds to your negativity, right? It further adds to your mood. It makes you even in a worse mood. So why should you be trading, right? So that's where I want you guys to think of all these 5 things. Okay, when you are trading, are your thoughts aligning with what the market is telling you? All right, with the direction, right? And I'll summarize this again. Number 1, you believe in something going higher, but the chart is telling you it's going lower. 2 things you do: don't trade, or number 2 is be aware of this type of bias, right? This thoughts, and not and try to remove that. If you can't, then don't trade it, right? But be aware of that. Number 2, know what your maximum risk that you're comfortable taking. If you're comfortable, it shouldn't affect you. Number 3, prepare for all your trades, okay, prior to, not just wing it, okay? It's so easy, and I said this before so many times. So easy to trade. You hit the button, you hit a buy, you hit a sell. Hey, that's your trade, okay? You become a trader. It's so easy, but obviously the key is knowing when to exit, knowing when to take a profit, when to enter, right? But if you prepare beforehand, okay, look for quality trades, not quantity. 4th thing, automate your trades. Remove that emotional potential risk element from your trading so that you won't be impacted by that, right? Remove that part. Automate everything. Automate the execution. That's the easy part, okay? Automate everything. The harder part is doing the research, okay? Determine when to get in, when to get out. Last thing, if you are not feeling confident in yourself, if you're not having a bad day, if you are just having things in your life that are affecting you emotionally, don't trade. Or be aware of that. And again, always ask myself, how am I feeling today prior to trading? If you're not confident, as I said, don't trade, Or number two is be aware of those emotions that you're feeling. Okay? Be aware of it. Not telling you don't remove all those emotions. Okay? You had a fight with your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend. You're not gonna remove that, right? You still have that, but be aware of that and try not to let that affect you in your trading. All right, guys. Go and take some questions in terms of in the chat box. Please let me know what you guys are experiencing. Or maybe some of the things that you feel that will help you with your trading. All right. Yeah, Ben said so. $5. Okay. Right. Okay. If you comfortable with $5, then just risk $5. But at some point, you obviously will. You're doing well. You risk 10, 20, right? 100, 500, right? 1,000, right? It's step by step, right? So determine what that maximum risk is. So then you don't feel it at all. You don't feel it at all. And again, I will repeat this again. I know you're saying, well, if you risk so little, you're not going to make a lot, right? If you risk $5, you're probably, if a 2-to-1 risk reward, you only make $10, right? Well, that's what you're comfortable risking, right? If you make $10, then maybe you risk $10, right? The next trade, right? And so forth, right? All right, Dennis says, control mind is probably the hardest aspect of trading. I often get derailed off a trade due to greed and fear. Pain sets in as my profit and or capital evaporates. I was told to stop and breathe. Okay. Yes, you're right, Dennis, because it's hard to control our mind. It's hard to really master, right, the mind when trading, because when something involves money, we associate money with something, right? For people, financial security, financial freedom, the ability to buy their dream house, dream car, to be able to live a stressor-free life, right? All those things, right? So they have meaning. But really, what's the, if you, and this is where, if you think about it, and I want you guys to look at this. Let's just say you, for example, you have, let's do a more extreme example. So, and again, I want you to put yourself in this mindset, and this is how the really wealthy and the rich get even richer, okay, get even wealthier, because to them, money is just a number. And again, I know you guys are going to say you can't, right? Of course, money is something, right? It affects us, right? But hear me out, okay? The very wealthy, once you get to a certain point, making more, it's not going to affect them as much. So let's just say, for example, I want to put you in this scenario. Let's just say you have $100 million. Okay, I'm going to make it really extreme. Okay, and I want you guys to think of it in the same scenario. You have $100 million. You're putting capital at risk. Okay, let's just say $1 million, for example. And then first you're going to say, well, 1% of my wealth. Okay, it's not going to be material, right? Let's just say you have $100. You're risking a dollar, right? But look at the scenario where it's not the amount. Okay, them risking $1 million. Obviously, again, percentage is not much, right? But the amount is big, right? So when you see that, you think, oh wow, I should take it, right? But when you have abundance in wealth, okay? And again, I'm not talking about just abundance in terms of your capital. Okay, I'm talking about your mindset. When you are comfortable, okay, keep in mind, comfortable risking first of all, right? That amount. And then you don't look at the amount. You look at it with the fact that this capital you're risking, you're comfortable with, and this amount of money that I am putting at risk is actually not that much. It's not going to impact me. And that's why the wealth, like when you that's why the wealthy get even richer, because they don't take profits way too early, right? If they see an opportunity, they keep holding it, right? It's not going to, affect them because they're comfortable already. Like their mindset's already comfortable, right? In terms of building, those assets, and in terms of building wealth. So that's why don't have a poor man's thinking where, you if you see good opportunities, you're looking for opportunities that can help change your life, right, to improve your wealth and all that stuff. But when you are fearful, right, what Dennis, fearful and greed, it affects you. So that's why think of it in that way. And again, I want to emphasize, okay, the risk is comfortable. You're comfortable with that. But once you have profits, right, it doesn't matter as much, that profit impacting you, because all you should be thinking of it is just a number. Okay, well, and again, I want to repeat this again. You're comfortable with the risk, okay? If you lose, you're comfortable with that number. But when you win, it's a number. That trade doesn't mean anything because you planned it, you prepared for it. It's just a number. Like sometimes I make a lot of money on a trade when I'm in the right frame of mind. It doesn't impact me. It's just okay, next trade. Okay, the next trade, right? Oh, this is the last one. Okay, next trade, right? I don't think, and I thought about this before, right? When I first started, I said, oh, if I make $1,000, I'm gonna be able to. It's gonna be able to, I'm gonna be able to go on a nice trip, or I'm gonna be able to, do this, and right. I associate an emotion, associate a thing with making that $1,000. But once you have the right frame of mind, it's just a number. It's just okay. Well, 1,000. Okay, good. I'm building my capital. So hopefully that helps. Ashish Patel says, should we watch P&L during a trade? No. And I know that it's very, very hard. I am guilty of that as well. Okay? I'm guilty of that in watching P&L. If you watch the P&L, let me ask you a question. If you watch that P&L, is it going to affect how much you're going to make? No. Okay, so yeah, sure, you're going. You saw 100, right? Let's just say it's up to, but you're not taking profit until 500. It goes to 300, but then you start to say, oh, what if that 300 suddenly becomes zero, and let's just say it goes to 400, it doesn't reach 500, and then suddenly it declines to 300. So you're thinking, oh, should I take it? Maybe I should. Oh, I'll take it, and then suddenly just a little retracement, and then goes to reach your target price of 500, right? So because when you watch your P&L, like it goes up and down, like you go from 100 to 200 to 200 to 150 to 150 to 400, 400 to 100, like it's fluctuating, and your emotions are fluctuating at the same time. So that aspect, try not to watch your P&L because it should not impact your decisions. Now, I'm not saying that, not all trades will reach your target price, but know that if you're watching the charts, that let's just say it can't break above this resistance level, for example, right? And you said, okay, maybe I should move up my trailing stop loss price. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but don't watch your P&L obsessively. All right, last thing before I finish up. As she says, if I have different stock screener under the same setup, I face problem of choice. Yeah. So obviously you just try to select the best setups, right? Of what you think. I mean, if they all have the same one, you obviously try to select one of them, right? Or if you have multiple stocks of the same setup, then maybe split up your positions into two, like put a little bit into one and put another into another, so then that you diversify, or so that will help you in terms of your to minimize that. All right, last thing I want to talk about, guys, is I am for our next session on next Sunday, I'm going to give a free one-on-one session. I'm going to talk to one of you guys hopefully, uh, you know, have an opportunity to um, talk with you guys or talk to one of you guys that I'm going to select um, in on a call. Is I'm offering a free one-on-one session. So next week I'm going to select one individual that I'm going to help you with your trading, and we will have this live stream. Okay, so in order for you guys to be considered, I want you guys to send me an email. Send me an email, contact@mikesurf.com. I'm going to select one individual. I want you guys to share what your struggles are as a trader. What are the challenges that you're facing? What are some of the successes that you have? Okay, and I want something detailed so that I'll be able to understand exactly the challenges that you are facing and give you some insights. And I'm going to do this live stream. Okay, I'm going to do this live, and the person who is chosen has to be comfortable, obviously, speaking live with everyone. But I want to offer a free session because I want to help one of you guys overcome some of the mental challenges that you might be facing, and maybe some of those challenges that you're facing are the same challenges that other people are facing. So then everybody can learn from your experiences and learn from some of the suggestions that I have for you. So what I want you guys to do, send me email, tell me exactly what your situation, and again, be as detailed as possible. Okay, be as detailed as possible, and I will select one of you guys. Will hop on a live stream, and we will discuss this, and hopefully, or not hopefully, all you guys will learn from the suggestions. And again, those things may be some of the things that you incur, okay, or experience, okay, and I'll be able to help all you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending this weekend with me, and I will look forward to speaking with you guys next week on a live stream next week on talking about one of you guys' mental challenges and how I can help. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys.